founder of the Custer Academy. And in this video I will talk about something that happens in different exercises when we draw precedence diagrams, and we end up what we call hanging activities. At the end of the precedence diagram we see some activities which have no successors. And I want to come to this topic because sometimes people make the wrong decisions when they're calculating, for example, the backwards pass. And we have problems with that because then all the values that people find are basically wrong. And we draw conclusions, for example, that there are two critical paths because the people think that a path with like 0 is a critical path. When we do the normal reasoning, we would never come to that conclusion. So that's what we're going to do in this video. But before we continue, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Let's have a look at a precedence diagram. This is a precedence diagram of a simple project. We have activities A to G, and the durations and the predecessors. The first thing I'm going to do is to create the arrow diagram. And the arrow diagram is a diagram which is based on events. We represent the activities which start at an event, end at another event, and we represent the activities with arrows. Arrow diagramming was one of the first methods to be used in computer programs and has a lot of advantages, but there are also some disadvantages. And today, people are more using the precedence diagramming method. So let's just start with this diagram and see how it looks like in an arrow diagram. We start with the first event, event 0. We have activity A, and we find the activity here. So we have the first element here, 1. So A starts in 0, ends in event 1. B and C are after A, so they are successors of A. Both of them have predecessor A. So now I can draw the second node for B and the third node for C, which I call 3. So we already did this, and this. D is after B. And here I'm going to wait a little bit. I just draw it a little bit like this, D, because we will adjust this later on. Another element, E, is also after B, and we draw this to node 4. So this is activity E, so we have this also. Then we have F. F I draw also to C, F. And at the end I have G after E and F, so I have E and F here, and now I can draw G, which gives the end node 5. But we see D is after B and there is no successor after D. It means D is also at the end of the network schedule, and we have to adjust this, and that's one of the things we have to do. In this diagramming method, we have to adjust it when we see things like this. So we now draw the arrow D, which ends in activity or in event 5. Now we can calculate the durations or the early start and the early finish. And in this exercise, we always start from 0. We have 0 or event 0 is the start milestone. So we start at 0, A has duration 3, so we end at 3. And 3 is also the early start of B and C. B has a duration of 5, so B will end at time 8. C has a duration of 7, so we'll end at duration 10. This also means that E will start at 8, D will start at 8, and F will start at 10. E has a duration of 3, so E will end at time 11. F, duration 5, will end at 15. And now we have to take the highest number here from 11 and 15. So G will start at 15. Duration of G is 3. So now we have to say this would be 18. We still have to do D. D has a duration of 2, so we have here 10. And we take for the nth element, we take 18, which is the duration of the project. So that is the nth milestone. So we see this, there are no hanging activities. And the thing is that people who see this network diagram and then they see a precedence diagram, we will see some differences and people react to it in a different way. So let's erase this and do the precedence diagramming method. So we start with activity A with a duration of 3. B and C are after A. So I have B with a duration of 5. C with a duration of 7. Then I have D after B with a duration of 2. I have E after B, E after B with a duration of 3. Then I have F after C with a duration of 5. And finally G after E and F with a duration of 3. What we see here is that now D and G have no successors. Is that a problem? Not really. Sometimes people like to put there an activity at the end with a duration equal to 0. Now when we look at the software, an activity with duration 0 is a milestone. So we can draw an end milestone here. We put that as a diamond and we find here the links. And that's it. Now we have an end node on this diagram. A milestone is an event in time. We can also draw a start milestone here. But we don't count the time. And typically when we use a precedence diagram, we start counting from 1. So let's do that, and I take green to do the calculations. So A starts at day 1, finishes at the end of day 3. The next activities can start the following day, which is 4 and 4. 4 plus 5 minus 1 is 8. 4 plus 7 minus 1 is 10. So here we have the early start 9, 9 and 11. 11 plus 5 is 15. 9 plus 3 is 11. And 9 plus 2 is 10. And now we still have to do G. We take the highest number, so we have 16. 16 plus 3 is 18, so we have here 18 and here 10. And of course we select 18. What is a mistake that many people make? Well, people select the late finish time. We calculate the project back. And let's say to do this project we have effectively 18 periods. So in this case, these two are the same. Can be different, but let's keep it simple in this case. And people say, well, here we count back from 10. And that's wrong, because what does it mean, the late finish time? D, what is the late finish time of activity D? The project will finish at time 18. So D can finish at period 18 without changing the duration of the project. And that's the definition of the late finish time. So when I put here 10, it will be an error, so we have to put 18 here. We have to put 18, so we have 16 here. We have 15, 11. We have 15 minus 3, so it's 13. Minus 2, it's 17. We take the lowest number here. So I have 12. Here I have 10, 4, 3, and 1. Here I have 12. 12 minus 5 plus 1 is in fact 8. And now I can calculate the slack for all the activities. 0, 4, 0, 8, 4, 0, and 0. And that's the only way to calculate the early start, early finish, late start, and late finish. This is important to understand that when we count back, when we have those hanging activities, we take the same late finish. A lot of students and a lot of people calculate back here from 10. And then you would find that the slack here would be basically 0. We would have a different calculation here. And in that case, people make the conclusion, well, we have two paths with slack equal to 0. It means we have two critical paths. And that's not true. The critical path is the longest path through the network. In our case, we have A, C, F, G, which has a duration of 18. We have A, B, D, with a duration of 10. And then we have the other paths, A, B, E, G. And that's it, A, B, E, G, with a duration of 3, plus 5 is 8, plus 3 is 11, plus 3 is 14. So that's an important element I wanted to stress in this video. When we have hanging activities at the end of the project, it's important to select the correct late finish time of all activities. The late finish time in that case is determined by the early finish time of the critical path, of the longest path. Of course, we can have other elements here. We can also have hanging activities at the beginning. And there, all the activities can start from the first day of the project. That's it for this problem. Like I said, I see this error many times when people are doing calculations. And of course, the backward pass is in that case wrong. That's it. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Bye bye.